That was really was the secret. Yeah.
You know,
we had a place where great bands came, and they all vied to come there, and everybody just migrated. I mean, and I think like ham and eggs and coffee and cake, they all went well together.
But what a time you lived in, the 30s, Norma.
Yeah, special.
With, like a street, like there'd be Basie this side, Goodman that side, Ellington.
That's right.
Chick Webb, Jimmy Lunsford.
Yeah.
Teddy
all
Hilda.
Surrounded by, every day,
wonderful,
7 nights a week, surrounded by the best that they could bring to the format, and they were looking for something, and we achieved something. And I think, and that was the American music.
And that time, thank God they recorded. Thank God I can play them.
Yes,
because they'll never come this way again.
Yeah, you have them.
There'll be people trying to imitate.
Right.
There'll be people trying to play you put the arrangements up in front of them, but they're not accenting, they're not thinking the same, and they don't think the same accents.
Exactly.
So they don't sound the same.
Right. Well, see, I guess Mozart felt the same way.
I guess so.
I mean, we know Mozart, but we don't know him.
That's right,
but,
that's right.
He must have done something, and then the next wave, could you imagine, was this new music, because it was actually new music, you know. That kids they say, what are they playing? What are they doing?
What?
You know, and I imagine that must have been going through their minds.
Right.
You know.
That's true.
Yeah, but it was the evolution of freedom in America, I think, which had a lot to do with.
Plus, people didn't have a lot of money, and it was the end of the Depression.
Exactly.
And they wanted to be happy.
And they wanted to hear something happy. And it didn't cost a lot of money to hear it. It was when we first began listening to the Make Believe Ballroom.
Yep.
It's Make Believe Ballroom time.
Come on, baby, let's dance.
Let's dance. And that really was what it started, because it made me listen to radio. Because you remember, I came in, when I was here, I came in with radio came in at my time.
Right.
I saw the beginning of television.
Yes.
I saw the beginning of electricity.
Yes.
You know, and then I'm living down in Florida where Thomas Edison, who created this place, because he gave us the light.
Gosh, no.
And we had the automobile. All of that came in during the century that...
You've seen it all.
I saw the beginning of it, and the beginning of a new dance.
And that, yes. And you instigated...
My generation actually... It benefited from the great inventors.
And then when you heard these wonderful bands, like you didn't know it was called a Lindy Hop, did you just start like standing outside and just going like moving? And then it just about...
Yes, because two things happened. You lived in a place where they had this place that had big wide windows.
Right.
You had no air condition.
Oh,
So
the doors were open.
So you can stand outside
and
listen to a band that's playing, rehearsing or whatever, but you're being influenced every day of your life. When you come through the day, they're rehearsing in the day. You come through at night, they're playing at night. And you're here, and remember, it's here and I'm right here. I mean, if I walk around the corner, I could see the people going in. So I'm completely influenced by...
Incredible.
I'm walking to the jazz of great jazz, and I think that had a lot to do with it,
Exactly. Norma, because you're here a little earlier...
Yes, dear.
Oh, no, I've played that. It's all right. No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We've played... yes, we have. We've done that.
Did you play your Basie yet?
I got Basie down here with Jimmy Rushing, Georgiana. Okay, so if you want to stick around for the rest of the...
Well, whatever.
Well, we just do that, just go in and out or whatever,
perfect.
but you are here to talk about the Century Ballroom.
The great event called the Masters.
Yes.
Isn't that great? Yeah. And it's not golf?
Tiger Woods eat your heart out.
I wonder if he could swing, but he can swing a swing a glove.
He sure can.
But see, this was so wonderful. America swings. The Williams sisters, they swing that tennis, that racket, and you got to swing it to hit it.
That's right. You got to swing, otherwise...
So everything in this country is about swing.
It don't mean a thing.
It don't mean a thing if it ain't. I'm
swing.
telling you, lady, you're being poetic.
Oh, it's been said before, Norma.
I know.
But listen now, the live bands, what live bands will we play? So tonight you've got the Ham Carson Quintet.
Oh, How good are they? They're good?
They're good. Ham is a good tenor man and
Good,
clarinet.
good,
Yeah,
good.
and they should give you
Right.
that meter. There's another thing.
Yeah.
Syncopation,
Syncopation.
and the meter.
That's the beat.
The meter.
The beat.
And Friday and Saturday nights, that's the Opus 1
No,
Big Band.
That's Chester's Whitmore's band.
That's from California.
Yeah,
They're from
Chester's
California.
band.
Are
He
they good?
loves his band.
They-
Oh, yeah, they're good.
They're good. So
Yeah,
you know
they're
that.
very good.
And then Ernestine Anderson's going to come in and
She
sing
is
for one set.
great.
Yep. So there's a lot of stuff going on at the Century
She
Ballroom,
is
folks.
just, I'm so delighted that I can be reunited with Ernestine. Boy, we've had some laughs. She's wonderful.
Now what? Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yes, she is, and
Uh-huh.
we're proud of her here in
Oh,
Seattle.
yes.
And there's what's this public event free on Thursday, August the 16th at City Hall in downtown Seattle?
What's
That's
that?
all the masters will be there from noon till 1:30 p.m. teaching.
What's
It's a
that?
Yes?
new series called Seattle Presents at City Hall, and this week's presentation are the Masters of Lindy Hop and Tap. So that's going to be a great
Right,
public
okay.
event. So
And that'll be the Solomon Douglas suite.
Right.
They good?
yeah,
They
learn
good?
learn from the masters to the live tunes of the Solomon Douglas swing tet. So
That's a swing tet?
swing tet.
That's it.
Swing
and,
tet.
and you can ask questions and
Q&A?
hear the story. Q&A. That's right, Norma. Did you say Q&A? Norma say Q&A. Oh,
Yeah,
see,
Q&A.
you've done this before, Norma.
Oh,
So now let's see how to find out more and buy tickets. So we've told you the website, the World Wide Web at centurymasters.com, or now the phone number is 206-324-7263 to learn more about this. Boy, I wouldn't want to miss this stuff. This is going to be
you
great.
are coming, aren't you?
I'm going to do my best.
Please do. Well, at least Saturday night.
Yeah.
You know, you're off the
Yeah.
air Saturday night.
I
aren't you?
am. I'm only here on a Wednesday morning, Norma.
Oh, well, you got
They won't have me here anymore. They just want me once a time. They
Oh,
don't.
my goodness.
Enough is enough is enough, you know.
not 24/7.
No, oh God, no, that'd kill them. Yes, you want to say something?
No, there's one more thing, one more component of the event that's real special. It's the panel discussions. This year, we're really happy to have Paul DeBarros with us on Saturday afternoon. And Joni, I don't think
That's
I
the
wrote
workshop.
that.
Yes, well,
wrote
it's the
that down there
workshops for
you.
beginners, more advanced dancers.
Yeah, but we'll have
at a
three-
showcase
I
on
think it's
Thursday night.
3 or
Is the
4
young?
on Saturday. The schedule is all on the web. At
Yes, go to
um,
the web.
You know, Paul, who really knows the story of Seattle
Sure.
jazz music, the history,
Yes.
wrote Jackson Street After Hours.
Yes,
And
yes.
So he'll
And
be
put the
talking
book
to,
out,
to,
yes.
to all of these guys and,
Oh, this'll be
telling their
great.
stories. So the Seattle side, the New York side, all the way around the world.
What's
So
it like to
that's-
be a legend, Norma? What's it like to feel that you're a legend?
You got to be old to be a legend.
You got to be old because you got to experience,
Yeah,
know
well,
the stuff. See,
you
that,
you don't wind up with much, but you got. I said, but I got experience.
that's right. Isn't that a song called Experience? What's that song by somebody?
It sounds familiar.
It's-
I didn't write it though. It's okay.
Well, oh, there's a phone. Should I answer the phone?
Sure.
You think so? You think so?
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't think I should while I'm on the air. I'm not used to this, so I'm sorry if you're calling. Oh, the phones are lighting up. Wait a minute. They might want to talk to Norma. Hello. Do you want to speak to Norma? Quickly.
You say normal.
Quick. Okay. Stay tuned, my darling. Okay. Okay. Well, dear Norma,
Yes.
shall I play you some stuff? And do you
Sure.
want to stick around and maybe? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So. Okay. So let's continue. I'm so excited to have Norma here. So let's listen now to Norma is here, and she likes to listen to the swing. So from 1935, Herman Autry on trumpet, Ruby Powell on clarinet. The eyes are going. Vats Waller and hey, whose honey are you? Now you're listening to KBCS 91.3 FM. Stay tuned.
depend upon you. Whose honey are you? Whose dream are you completing? Who goes for those eyes like sugar plum pies? Whose honey are you? You've got a tiny little bitch of heaven in your fingertips. You've got all the rest of heaven on your sugar-coated lips. Who's gonna get you some Sunday go meeting? Whose little heart leaps and wants you for keeps? Whose honey are you? Yeah. Last on. Yes, yes. Mine is throwing the babies out the balcony. It's much. Whose honey are you? Who gets your affection? Who makes the dates and kisses and races the loving you do? Whose honey are you? Who made the selection? Whose beautiful schemes and honeymoon dreams are gonna come true? Please tell me, have you really made your mind up who it's gonna be? Don't you think before we wind up, we're terrific, you and me? Whose honey are you? Whose dream of perfection? Who's gonna raise Queen and take flame? Whose honey are you? Hold you beady that butter bone, rebone, revolt, revolt, revolt.
tuned to... Hang on. You tuned to... Oh, we're having too much fun here today. You tuned to KBCS 91.3 FM. That was... we just listened to Helen Humes with Red Norvo on xylophone and his orchestra. And did you catch all those lovely modulations into Helen's key? From 1958. And I was doing all right till you came by. Before Helen Humes, Bobby Hackett with Jack Teagard and Gene Schroeder in there on piano from 1957. And Sunday, before Bobby Hackett, the great Fats Waller and Whose Honey Are You from 1935. We're here this morning with Norma Miller. Just a minute, Norma. Just want to do a little business here before we continue on. And so just hang on a minute. Nobody move. Wait a minute. Didn't work.
For me each week
There
for
it
my
is.
commentaries, which include humor, wit, and intelligence, all delivered with a little poetic logic. It's Logic Amen's Commentaries, a.k.a. Speak On It, on KBCS 91.3 FM.
That's Logic Amen's Speak On It commentaries every Friday at 4:30 p.m. during Daily Planet on your community radio, KBCS.
Peace. Be easy.
This is KBCS, a world of music and ideas. Just before we went back to 20th century jazz, Norma has she has a story to tell us about how she met Ella Fitzgerald. So I'm sure I would like to hear that, Norma. How you met Ella? Yes?
Yeah, well, we were all kids in high school.
Yeah.
And always Friday, a new show went into the Apollo Theater. And Louis Armstrong was coming to the theater, so naturally, being the fact that we seldom saw him, we had an opportunity, so the whole school practically played hooky to go to the Apollo Theater.
Good for
But
them.
when we got to the theater, his show was canceled because he had something wrong with his lip. And so now we're out of school. You can't go home. And said, well, there's another theater up the street, the Harlem Opera House. I said, well, let's go there and catch that show. And while we're there, we're all ensconced in the third balcony where all kids are. We're way up there. And they introduced this girl who had won a contest at the Apollo Theater. And they said her name was Ella Fitzgerald, and we booed her. We don't want boo, get out. and she came on not very meticulous in appearance, so we just, a bunch of rowdy teenagers. And she started to sing, and we heard a voice. She said, when your eyes say yes and you're wrong in your guess, that's Judy, my
Really? She
Judy.
sang
And she sung
Judy.
that, and she shut us up like clams.
Oh.
When she finished, you could hear a rat piss on cotton. Boy, she was. And that was
Okay.
the beginning of Ella
How
Fitzgerald.
about that?
She
How
never looked
about
back.
that?
She was just great from the first time you heard her to the last time you heard her. She had that same young voice.
Yes, she did.
And she had this marvelous way of swinging.
Yes, yes.
I mean, which was new to us.
yes, and on
and,
the beat, she'd
right.
hit that beat, and that was...
It was perfect.
Yes.
And Bardu Alive, anyway, they were trying to negotiate the fact that this girl singer was around, and they took the idea to Chick Webb. And Chick Webb said, well, at the time, remember, we didn't have girl singers in bands.
Right.
And nobody's going to take a chance taking a young girl on the road with
Right.
16 guys.
Right.
So he didn't even want to go through that. But anyway, through a series of things, eventually, because she was so good, she
Right.
wrote a Tisket a Tasket, Chick Webb and her, that was their first hit. And but he adopted her to make sure that there be no problems
Wonderful.
with her
Wonderful.
being on the road. And then
Sure.
she kept us with her because
Sure.
we were all the same age. We were all teenagers.
Right,
And
right.
because when you sit around the theater 4 shows a day, you can get into a whole lot of trouble. And
Sure.
he avoided all of that.
Yes.
And she of course, you know, she had one of the greatest careers in singing.
But what
of
a
anyone.
oh,
The great career.
Without a doubt.
Norman Granz took over,
sure.
and
Oh, there'll never be another Ella.
never.
But what
there
a wonderful man Chick
Oh, yeah.
Webb was.
Oh, God,
to do
yes.
that. What a good
It was so
soul.
touching because
Right.
when he died,
Yes.
she was at his bier and she sang "My Buddy,"
Oh.
and it just brought
sure.
tears to everybody's eyes, you know. But
Oh, Norma. Norma's full of these wonderful
wait a minute,
stories.
one more story.
Okay.
The last
okay.
engagement of Chick Webb, we were at the Paramount Theater.
Yes,
When
keep
we
going.
went in the theater, it was Chick Webb's orchestra and all the different acts and everything. And at the
Right.
bottom, vocalist Ella Fitzgerald.
At the bottom.
This was at the bottom. This is the beginning of the work at the Paramount.
Right.
At the time, we didn't know how sick Chick Webb was. We had no idea. He was always grouchy, so we
Yeah.
just thought he was grouchy. But,
Yeah, but
he
he
was
was-
because always in that pain.
Yes.
And they took him off the stand after the first show. He never came back. But the remarkable thing was, now you got the show together. So the show left out of there with Ella Fitzgerald and the Chick Webb's orchestra, so and so and so.
Oh.
And that was how she took over the band momentarily, and that became.
Ella-
She was featured with the band.
Ella Fitzgerald and her band.
And the Chick Webb Orchestra.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful history, and we'll never see those times again.
No,
And-
exactly.
And,
yeah.
and thanks to you that you have these wonderful memories and
Oh,
that you
yeah.
can tell people these stories because people don't know. There's a
No.
lot of young ones
That's
coming
right.
up. They
Those were
don't
my
know from
teenage
nothing.
years. They
That-
were very,
Sure.
they were very cultivating. You know,
Sure.
I was surrounded by just the great innovators. You know,
Yes.
I was all part of
Very
the
lucky.
innovators that
You're
did it.
very
Yeah.
lucky you grew up in
Yeah,
that
grew up with
wonderful
them, yeah.
time.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was our life. You
That
know?
was the
Every day,
normal life.
7 days a week.
That's
Every
how
day,
they-
rehearsed
see?
all day with
It was
the
in
band.
their soul,
yeah.
in their eating
Everything,
and drinking
yeah.
and thinking it. Thank you, Norma. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Let's continue on now. Here's another song for Norma.
Thank you.
Here's Bud Freeman and his gang, Bud on tenor, Bobby Hackett cornet, Jess Stacy piano from 1938. And look out there, Life Spears a Jitterbug.
sugar. I never may be my sugar, because my sugar is so confectionery funny. He never pleads for my money. All he can give me is honey. He's the best in his line. I'd make a million trips to his lips if I were a bee, 'cause they are sweeter than any honey to me. They're granulated sugar. I get my taffy from sugar. That's why I'm daffy about sugar. That sugar baby of mine. I get my taffy from sugar. That's
never saw her
why
either.
I'm daffy about sugar. That sugar baby of mine.
That's Sugar from the great, that smooth-sounding, honey-sounding Lee Wiley, Bobby Hackett trumpet, and Be Still My Heart, Joe Bushkin on piano, and Sugar. Before Lee Wiley, Bud Freeman and his gang, Bud on tenor, Bobby Hackett again, on this time on cornet, and Jess Stacy, another one of my faves, on piano from 1938, and Life Spears a Jitterbug. Speaking of jitterbugs, Norma, tell us one more time about tonight. About
For the weekend.
For the weekend,
The
yes.
Masters, it's going to be the
tonight.
Masters of Lindy Hop and Tap.
That's right.
And it's going to be at the Century Ballroom, and we're going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And come and join us. We'll have workshops, and some of the best of what we have today will be there. Frankie Manning, Chaz
Yes.
Young, Skip Cunningham, Don Hampton,
Jenny Ligon.
Jenny Ligon, and et cetera, et
Sugars,
cetera, et
et cetera.
cetera.
They'll all-
Anyway,
they'll all
you'll have
be
a
great.
good time, and we're all looking forward to seeing you there. Please come.
Thank you
Buy
very much.
tickets.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
They'll be there, Norma.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in. You're very generous this morning, Norma. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for that great music.
Gosh, it's heard every
It's
Wednesday
worth it.
morning.
It's
9
worth it.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, Norma. Bye-bye.
Bye, dear.